As we approach Friday and the weekend, all eyes set to the forecast, which again features rain. We gave you the first alert to this last weekend where we talked about the potential for more unsettled weather as we made our way through the work week. And that's exactly what we have going on here. So through Saturday evening, by the time most of the rain is wrapped up, we're expecting about a half inch to an inch of rain to have fallen across Connecticut with some locally higher amounts in the mix. We could see some spots as high as about an inch and a half, especially if we mix in a few rumbles of thunder. We can't rule out a couple of isolated rumbles of thunder through the afternoon tomorrow. Hour by hour through the day, we start off in the 50s, a little bit warmer than where we've been through the overnight hours. Temperatures topping out again in the 60s, and this is all going to just feature clouds, showers, periods of rain tomorrow. First alert futurecast showing how showers develop through the middle of the morning and continue right into the early afternoon. And then we see another period of rain through the mid-afternoon into the early evening and through the later evening into the overnight hours. We get a bit of a break sometime late tomorrow night into early Saturday morning, but scattered showers continue on Saturday. So while some of the heaviest rain may fall during the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow, our first alert is still focused on tomorrow and Saturday due to the impacts to outdoor plans. The good news is that even underneath some of these heavier showers, perhaps a couple of downpours in the mix, we're not expecting much of a risk for flooding. And part of that is because we've been so dry, but the system itself actually moves through pretty quickly, so we end up with more dry air moving in rather quickly by the time we reach Sunday. First alert live radar, Connecticut's only live radar scanning the skies. We are dry. Here's a live look on our iCam in stores right now. Some blue skies still in the mix, and a live look outside on our iCam in Middletown overlooking the Aragoni Bridge there. Over the Connecticut River, things are quiet. It really is a nice evening across Connecticut. Temperatures pretty typical for this time of year, mostly running between about 60 to 65 degrees. It's comfortable outside. The next several hours, we do expect to start to see more cloud cover in the mix here. Trending mostly cloudy by about 7 o'clock, overcast by 10 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, both inland and at the shoreline, showers start to become part of the story. So tonight, becoming cloudy, not as cool. Temperatures in the upper 40s and lower 50s. Futurecast does show that this storm system moves away pretty quickly. So we're giving you the first alert here that behind the storm system, by the time we start off, say, Tuesday of next week, we could be dealing with some frost across Connecticut. This could be the first frost, especially in the northwestern and northeastern parts of the state as we get into early next week. So expect things to certainly feel a bit chillier. In the tropics, we still have Tropical Storm Tammy here, making its way toward the islands. Then it's expected to eventually hook back out to sea. We'll be watching the path of Tammy here, but as of right now, no big impact is expected to the U.S., although we are, again, keeping an eye on some of the islands. So tonight, upper 40s and lower 50s. Tomorrow, we watch temperatures rise to about 60 to 65, just a touch cooler than where we are today. And on the first alert 7-day forecast, you'll notice there's our first alert for tomorrow into Saturday. Periods of rain tomorrow, scattered showers continue Saturday. Mainly dry on Sunday, but trending windier. Breezy on Monday, a first alert for some morning frost Tuesday. And by the end of next week, Caitlin, things are actually trending to not only be brighter, but milder with temperatures back in the mid to upper 60s, if not close to 70 degrees.